Hey everyone, in this episode of There's an App for That, we're going to take a look at Animoto. We'll first take a look at the tool, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the educational learning opportunities that go along with it. So I'll go ahead and open up the app, and I'm going to create a new video. Up in the upper right hand corner, I select Create. And the first thing I'm given an option to do is add some photos and videos. Before I even do that though, I'm going to add a style. With the style, they suggest a certain song. Now the Animoto original is probably the least distracting, but if your students are like most students, they're going to want to choose one of the more distracting themes. And the first few times I would certainly let them do that. So I've selected Blue Frost. It comes up with this song as a suggested song. It allows you to preview it by clicking this button. I'm fine with that, so I stop it. But I also want to see what other options I have. I typically just tell the students to use the suggested song. When students ask if they can use music from their own device, we say no, and we talk a little bit about copyright issues. Okay. Now once you have your style and music chosen, you can go ahead and add some photos and videos. And when I select this, I have a couple options. I can take a photo, I can go to my camera roll, but I can also go to my photo stream or Dropbox. Now we'll go ahead in here and see what we've got in the photo stream that might accompany this example. Let's say that I'm going to be doing something with angles and architecture. So I'm just going to go ahead and select some of the images that I've got in my photo stream. You can see that I've chosen 5. I'm going to go ahead and select this arrow here to get those to go into my storyboard. And in my storyboard, if I want to rearrange the images, all I have to do is select one and move it to where I want it. Now we talk a lot with the students about how to make a meaningful video or digital story, and that the images are certainly what's going to attract their audience to watch the video, but the words are going to guide the story or guide the learner to understand what the message in that story is. And so we have 2 options for the words. We can either add a text box that goes in between the images. Let's see what that looks like. Tap on there, and I think I'll give my video a title and have a title right at the beginning. And we will call that Angles Angles in Architecture. If I wanted to add a subtitle, I could certainly add that here. Maybe I'll say by Tiffany. And I'm going to go ahead and click done. And then I can move this, just like I can move the images, up to where I want it. That's one way to add a title. Another way is to add a caption. And the caption, when you preview or produce the video, will not show up between the images, but rather underneath the image. So let's just say I wanted to add a caption to this. Go ahead and enter a caption. And go ahead and select done. And I see that I can, within this picture or this image right here, I can feature it or spotlight it. I can flip it around. Let's show you what that looks like. Spotlight it or feature it. If I flip it around, that's handy if the image comes in incorrectly. I can select if I want it to be portrait, landscape, or square. You can also grab it and move it and hit save. And of course I can trash it. If the image is blurry or if it doesn't quite fit my story, I can use the trash button. I'll select done for now. Okay. So we certainly don't have a very long video right now, but beginner users of Animoto typically use the preview button a lot so that they can see the progress of their video to see what needs to be added. So we'll go ahead and click the preview button. It'll take just a couple seconds. Now, after I've previewed it, I can go back and continue editing if I wanted to add some more text boxes or images or videos. I could also, in my continue editing mode, change the style and music if the tempo didn't quite fit the message or the background was too distracting or something like that. You can easily do that. But let's just say that the video is ready to be published or produced. I'm just going to go down here and click the Save and Produce Video button. And that video produced or published pretty quickly because it's very short. But something I noticed is that, I probably wouldn't title my video Kim's Video. I would probably give it something a little bit more specific. So I'm just going to tap on there to point out that there's this edit button here. And when I tap on that edit button, I can go ahead and edit the title to be something more appropriate, like angles. Okay? And I could give it a description if I so chose. Click Save. It shouldn't take too long to go ahead and save that. While it's saving, I'll point you down here to the Share Video and the Save Video. If you're planning on pushing it out to YouTube or Google Drive, you're going to want to save the video first to your camera roll and then publish it to wherever you want to publish it. So now let's talk a little bit about some educational uses that we've seen in the classroom. One teacher at Forest Hills has used this to share with the parents something that the students worked on that day. They did a review in mathematics using Socrates' space race. Here's a little bit about what it looked like. So certainly the students had an opportunity to view what they had done. You can see the teacher used the text boxes to guide the audience. I think as a parent it would be really neat to see what the students are doing in class. This is a video of a teacher spotlighting herself for the Exceptional Ties Teacher of the Year. Kind of take a quick peek at what that looks like. Students certainly could do this as maybe an introduction for them to themselves.
Megan Skogston. I make it happen by giving students the freedom of choice.
With the idea there, she had to do a video that was less than a minute. You can see that she's used the caption choice or option. And let's see what else we have. In this example, the student who created this was asked to think of synonyms for hot. So synonyms, antonyms, vocab development. You get the idea. Another way that I've seen it is students that are working on mathematic problems. They will write things up on the board, take a screenshot of it, or use Explain Everything and take a screenshot of it, and that becomes their image to help guide their showing that they know something about a concept. So that's Animoto. Now finally, the thing that you need to know as an educator is that you can get an education account by going to Animoto for Educators and registering for a free account. And when you do that, it will generate a code for you in which you share with your students so that they can create videos that are longer than 30 seconds. Now, the 30-second limit isn't a bad thing, especially if you've got, more than 10 students sharing videos with you. But sometimes they like to create something a little bit longer. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to call your iLearn specialist. Thanks.